Welcome. I want to tell you something that will change your life forever. This is not about quick tips that you forget tomorrow. This is not about feeling good for 10 minutes and then going back to old habits. This is about something deeper, something that will save you from years of pain, regret, and broken relationships. Today we're talking about the silent revolution, the moment you stop reacting to everything and start responding with power. Most people live their entire lives as slaves to their emotions. Someone says one word and their whole day is ruined. Someone ignores them and they can't sleep at night. Someone disrespects them and they explode like a volcano. But what if I told you that every time you react emotionally, you're giving away the one thing nobody should ever control, your inner peace? What if I told you that the person who can stay calm when everyone else is losing their mind is the most powerful person in the room? If you stay with me until the end, you will learn something most people never understand in their entire life. You will learn that your reactions don't protect you, they destroy you. And more importantly, you will learn how to take back control of your life, one breath at a time. This video will build your English naturally while building your inner strength. Every word is simple, every lesson is powerful. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Your reactions are your remote control. Let me ask you something painful but true. How many times has someone pressed a button and made you angry instantly? How many times has a text message ruined your entire mood? How many times has someone's opinion about you kept you awake at night? If this sounds familiar, then you need to hear this. You are being controlled like a puppet, and your emotions are the strings. Most people think that reacting quickly means they're strong. They think that fighting back means they have self-respect. They think that defending themselves every single time means they're powerful. But here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Fast reactions don't come from strength. They come from weakness. When you react without thinking, you're not showing power. You're showing that someone else can control how you feel, what you say, and how you behave. You've given them the remote control to your life. Think about this. A stranger on the internet writes something mean, and you spend hours writing an angry reply. A coworker makes a joke about you, and you can't focus on work for the rest of the day. Your friend doesn't text you back quickly, and you create a whole story in your mind about why they hate you. This is not strength. This is emotional slavery. The story that will break your heart. There was once a young woman named Lisa. She was smart, kind, and had dreams of becoming a teacher. But Lisa had one problem. She reacted to everything. When someone cut her in line, she argued. When her roommate left dishes in the sink, she left angry notes. When her professor gave her feedback, she defended herself instead of listening. One day, Lisa was in a job interview for her dream teaching position. Everything was going well until the principal asked her about handling difficult parents. Lisa started explaining, but then the principal interrupted her with a challenging question. Instead of staying calm, Lisa felt attacked. Her voice got louder, her face got red. She started arguing with the person who could give her everything she wanted. The interview ended quickly. Lisa didn't get the job. Later, she found out they hired someone with less experience but better emotional control. The principal said something that haunted Lisa for years. We can't hire someone who argues with us in an interview. What would she do with angry parents? Lisa lost her dream job not because she wasn't qualified, but because she couldn't control her reactions. One moment, one emotional outburst, one failure to pause, and everything changed. The solution, the sacred pause. Here's what Lisa learned and what I want you to practice starting today. Before you speak, before you text, before you react to anything that hurts or angers you, do this. Stop. Breathe. Count to 5. Ask yourself, will my reaction make this better or worse? This is called the sacred pause. It's sacred because in those 5 seconds, you take back your power. You stop being a puppet and start being the puppet master. You stop being controlled by your emotions and start controlling your responses. When you pause, something magical happens. The anger starts to calm down. The hurt feelings start to fade. Your brain starts thinking instead of burning. And for the first time, you can choose your words instead of letting your words choose you. Try this today. When someone says something that bothers you, don't speak immediately. Pause. Breathe. Feel the emotion, but don't let the emotion control your mouth. You'll be amazed at how different your life becomes when you stop being reactive and start being responsive. Lesson 2. Most reactions become lifelong regrets. I want you to think about the worst moments of your life, the times you wish you could go back and change, the relationships you destroyed, the opportunities you lost, the words you said that you can never take back. Here's the painful truth. You probably don't regret what they did to you. You regret how you reacted to what they did. You don't carry their insult with you for years. You carry your angry response. You don't lose sleep over their mistake. You lose sleep over how you exploded when it happened. You don't feel ashamed of their behavior. You feel ashamed of yours. Most of our deepest regrets are not about what happened to us. They're about how we reacted to what happened to us. The sister story. There was a woman who had a younger sister. They were best friends for 30 years. They talked every day, celebrated every holiday together, shared every secret. But one Christmas, during a family dinner, the younger sister made a joke about the woman's weight. It wasn't meant to be cruel. It was just a thoughtless comment. But it hit an old wound, a deep insecurity the woman had carried since childhood. In that moment, 30 years of love disappeared. The woman exploded. She screamed in front of the entire family. She called her sister jealous, bitter, and cruel. She said things that weren't even true, just words designed to hurt as much as she was hurting. The family sat in shocked silence. Her sister left in tears. Days passed. Weeks passed. Neither sister called. Both were too proud, too hurt, too stubborn. Months turned into years. The woman's sister moved across the country. She got married, had children, built a new life. The woman wasn't invited to any of it. 10 years later, the woman received a phone call. Her sister had been in a car accident. She was in the hospital, asking for her. The woman rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. Her sister died before she arrived. The last words they had spoken to each other were words of anger. 30 years of love destroyed by 30 seconds of reaction. The woman still cries when she thinks about it, not because of what her sister said, but because of how she reacted. One reaction, one moment of lost control, a lifetime of regret. Why we react from pain, not power. Here's what most people don't understand. When you react quickly and emotionally, you're not reacting from strength. You're reacting from old pain. You're reacting from wounds that never healed, fears that never went away. insecurities that still live inside you. When someone criticizes your work, you're not just hearing their words, you're hearing every teacher who called you stupid. When someone ignores your message, you're not just feeling their silence, you're feeling every time you were abandoned or forgotten. Your reactions are rarely about the present moment. They're about the past pain that you're still carrying, and until you understand this, you'll keep reacting to things that don't deserve your pain. The solution: response, not reaction. Here's what you must train yourself to do. When something painful happens, when someone hurts or disappoints you, practice this sentence in your mind. This feeling is real, but my reaction is a choice. Yes, you feel hurt. Yes, it's unfair. Yes, you want to fight back. But you don't have to. You can feel the emotion without letting the emotion control your actions. You can be hurt without being destructive. You can be angry without being cruel. Here's how you do it. When the pain hits, pause. Close your mouth. Still your hands. Let the emotion rise inside you, but don't let it come out. Feel it. Name it. Ask yourself, am I reacting to this moment or to something old that this moment reminded me of? Wait. Wait 1 hour. Wait 1 day if you need to. Then, and only then, respond. Not from emotion, but from truth. Not from pain, but from power. Not from the wound, but from the wisdom. This one practice can save your relationships. It can save your reputation. It can save your peace. Because reactions create regret, but responses create respect. Lesson 3. Silence is your secret weapon. The world is full of noise. Everyone is talking, arguing, explaining, defending, trying to prove they're right. Everyone wants to have the last word, to win the argument, to be heard above the chaos. But here's a secret that powerful people know. The strongest response is sometimes no response at all. Silence is misunderstood. People think if you don't fight back, you're weak. People think if you don't defend yourself, you're guilty. People think if you don't argue, you've lost. But the opposite is true. It takes more strength to stay quiet than to scream. It takes more power to walk away than to fight. It takes more confidence to say nothing than to say everything. When you choose silence, you become dangerous, not because you're planning revenge, but because people can't figure you out. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know if you're hurt or if you're already 10 steps ahead. And that mystery is power. The social media warrior. There was a man who built a successful business over 10 years. He employed 50 people, helped hundreds of families, gave back to his community. He was respected, admired, and trusted. Then one day, a competitor who was jealous of his success started spreading lies about him on social media. Fake stories about how he treated his employees, made up scandals about his personal life, twisted screenshots that made him look dishonest. Everyone expected him to fight back. His friends told him to defend himself. His family urged him to tell his side of the story. The whole internet was waiting for his response. But he said nothing. He posted nothing. He explained nothing. He just continued working, serving his customers, treating his employees well, and living his truth. People called him guilty. They said his silence proved the accusations were true. For months, his reputation was attacked daily, but he remained silent. Then something beautiful happened. The truth began to speak for itself. His employees started posting about how well he treated them. His customers started sharing their positive experiences. His competitors' lies became so obvious that even strangers began defending him. 1 year later, the competitor who started the lies was exposed by someone else entirely. The man's silence was now seen as dignity, wisdom, and strength. He didn't need to defend himself because his life defended him. He won not by speaking, but by staying silent, not by arguing, but by rising above. How to use silence as power. Here's how you can use silence as your secret weapon. In conflict, don't argue with people who are determined to misunderstand you. Say, "I understand your perspective," and walk away. Let your actions speak louder than your words ever could. In drama, don't join the noise. Step back and let the truth rise by itself. Drama needs your participation to survive. Without your reaction, it dies. In disrespect, don't scream, don't cry, don't explain. Look them in the eyes, say nothing, and let your silence make them uncomfortable. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. In accusations, don't defend yourself to people who have already made up their minds. Your words won't change their opinion, but your silence will make them question their own. Remember this: people who truly know you don't need explanations. People who have already judged you won't accept explanations. Save your energy for those who deserve it. Lesson 4. Not every battle deserves your energy. One of the biggest mistakes you can make in life is trying to fight every battle, defend yourself in every argument, and prove your worth to every person who questions it. This sounds brave, but it's actually how you destroy your life. Because here's what you must understand. You have limited energy every day, and every time you give it to the wrong person, you have less left for the right things. You waste your energy on gossip, and you have no energy left for your goals. You waste your energy on hate, and you have no energy left for love. You waste your energy on proving yourself to people who don't matter, and you have no energy left for the people who do. Some people want your reaction not because they care about you, but because it feeds their ego to see you disturbed, broken, triggered. They don't want peace, they want drama. And if you keep stepping into their world, you'll never have time to build your own. The college student's mistake. There was a college student named Maya. She was brilliant, hardworking, and focused on her studies. She had big dreams of becoming a doctor and helping people. But one day, someone spread a rumor that Maya had cheated on an important exam. It wasn't true, but rumors spread fast. People started whispering when she walked by. Some of her classmates avoided her. A few professors looked at her differently. Maya was devastated. Instead of ignoring the rumor and letting her character speak for itself, she decided to fight it. She spent hours writing long posts on social media explaining herself. She approached every person who might have heard the rumor to tell them her side. She stopped studying to focus on defending her reputation. She stopped sleeping because she was constantly thinking about what people thought of her. She stopped taking care of herself because all her energy went to proving her innocence. Weeks passed. Maya's grades started dropping because she wasn't studying. Her health suffered because she wasn't sleeping. Her real friends started avoiding her because every conversation became about the rumor. At the end of the semester, Maya's grades were so low that she lost her scholarship. The rumor had been forgotten by everyone else, but Maya had destroyed her own future trying to fight it. Years later, Maya said something heartbreaking. "I didn't lose because of what they said about me. I lost because I gave my energy to people who were never going to believe me anyway." The solution: protect your energy like gold. Your energy is the most precious thing you have. It's more valuable than money, more important than time, more powerful than talent, and you must protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. Here's what you must do. Create a list in your mind. What deserves my energy today? Your goals, your growth, your family, your health, your peace. If something is not on that list, walk away from it. Don't fight small battles. You're not here to win every argument. You're here to win your life. Some battles are not worth fighting, even if you could win them. Stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. If they've already decided you're wrong, your words won't change their minds. Save your breath for people who actually listen. Only respond where growth is possible. If the conversation won't help you rise, it's a trap. If the argument won't solve anything, it's a waste. If the drama won't end anything, it's entertainment for others. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. You don't have to show up for every fight you're invited to. Peace is not found in winning every battle. Peace is found in knowing which battles are not worth fighting at all. Lesson 5. The calm person always wins. In a world full of storms, the person who can stay calm becomes the lighthouse. Everyone else is being tossed around by their emotions, but the calm person stands steady, strong, and unmoved. When you stay calm, you keep your power. When you stay calm, you see clearly. When you stay calm, you become the leader in every room, even if you never say a word. Calmness is not about feeling no pain. Calmness is about feeling the pain, but not letting the pain control you. It's about being hurt, but not being broken. It's about being challenged, but not being shaken. There was once a crowded train during rush hour. Everyone was tired, stressed, and impatient. Suddenly, a drunk man entered the car. He was loud, angry, and started pushing people around. He knocked over someone's coffee, stepped on someone's foot, and began shouting at everyone. The entire train car became tense. Some people shouted back at him. Others moved away in fear. A few started recording on their phones. Everyone was reactive, emotional, disturbed. But there was one old man sitting quietly in the corner. He remained completely calm. He didn't move, didn't react, didn't even look annoyed. He just sat there peacefully, as if nothing was happening. The drunk man noticed this calm and became even more angry. He walked over to the old man, ready to start a fight. But when he reached him, the old man looked up with gentle eyes and said quietly, "My friend, whatever happened to you today, I'm sorry it brought you this much pain." The drunk man stopped. His anger melted, his fists unclenched. His eyes filled with tears, and he sat down and began to cry. The entire train car fell silent. One calm man changed the energy of 50 disturbed people. He didn't fight fire with fire. He met anger with compassion, chaos with peace, storm with stillness. That's the power of staying calm. You don't just protect yourself. You become the peace that others desperately need. How to build the discipline of calmness. Calmness is not a natural talent. It's a skill you must practice every day. Here's how to build it. Breathe deeply and often. Your breath is your anchor. When your body is calm, your mind follows. Practice deep breathing not just when you're upset, but throughout the day. Observe before you speak. Let people show you who they are. Let situations unfold. Don't jump to conclusions or make quick judgments. Watch, listen, and then respond with strategy, not emotion. Practice calmness in small things. Spilled coffee, delayed trains, rude messages. These are your training sessions. The more you practice staying calm in small storms, the more prepared you'll be when life sends bigger ones. Ask yourself before every action, am I acting from truth or from pain? If it's pain, wait. If it's truth, proceed, but proceed calmly. Remember, anyone can scream, anyone can cry, anyone can panic. But the person who can sit in the fire and still think clearly, still speak gently, still move wisely, that person wins. Because life always follows the calm mind, not the loud one. Lesson 6. Reaction is habit. Response is power. Here's something most people never realize. They're not reacting because they're angry. They're reacting because they've always reacted. Reacting has become their automatic habit, not their conscious choice. Someone disrespects you, you fight back automatically. Someone ignores you, you chase them automatically. Someone criticizes you, you defend yourself automatically. You don't stop to ask, do I need to react to this? You just react because that's what you've always done. But here's the difference that changes everything. A reaction is fast, emotional, and uncontrolled. It comes from a wounded place inside you. A response is calm, clear, and conscious. It comes from a powerful place inside you. The person who reacts is like a volcano, loud, unpredictable, and destructive. The person who responds is like the ocean, deep, steady, and unmovable. The restaurant story. There was a young man who worked as a waiter in a busy restaurant. He was kind, respectful, and always professional. One evening, a wealthy customer came in, rude, entitled, and demanding. The customer snapped his fingers at the waiter, spoke to him like he was worthless, and when his food was slightly delayed, he shouted across the entire restaurant, "Are you stupid, lazy, or just incompetent?" Everyone in the restaurant froze. They expected the young waiter to fight back, to defend himself, to show this rude customer that he couldn't be treated that way. But the waiter didn't react. He looked at the man calmly and said with steady, respectful eyes, "Sir, I understand you're frustrated. I'm doing my best to serve you well. If my best isn't enough today, I accept that. But I'll continue to treat you with respect because that's who I choose to be." The entire restaurant went silent. The customer, who had seemed so powerful when he was being cruel, now looked small and embarrassed. The waiter, who had seemed powerless, now stood tall with dignity. The manager, who had watched the whole situation, offered the young man a promotion that same night, not because he was a good waiter, but because he had learned what most people never do. Reaction is instinct. Response is wisdom. Why we react, the hidden wounds. Here's the deep truth about reactions. We react when we are unaware of our old wounds. If you were ignored as a child, you'll overreact to being ignored now. If you were once humiliated, you'll overreact to any small disrespect. If you were abandoned, you'll overreact to distance in relationships. Your reaction is rarely about the person in front of you. It's about the pain inside you that was never healed. And until you understand this, you'll keep giving your peace to situations that don't deserve your attention. The solution: from reaction to response. You can break the habit. You can reprogram your mind. Here's how. Pause before everything. Even if it's just one breath, take it. Break the automatic chain. That one breath creates space, and space is where power lives. Ask yourself one question. Is this about now or about something old? Many times, the emotion you're feeling is not about the present moment. It's about a memory, a wound, a trigger from your past. Respond with truth, not emotion. Truth is stable. Emotion is unstable. Wait until your truth is clear and your heart is calm, then speak from that place. Practice response daily. Train yourself in small moments. When you're cut off in traffic, when your friend forgets to call back, when life feels unfair, each moment is practice. Each breath is a chance to choose response over reaction. The world doesn't need more people who react. It needs more people who respond. Because the people who stay calm, who choose awareness over anger, who think before they speak and feel before they act, those are the ones who rise. Those are the ones who lead. Those are the ones who are remembered not for their noise, but for their grace. Lesson 7. If you want peace, kill your ego. There's a reason people suffer so much, and it's not always because of pain or fear or other people. Most of the time, it's because of ego, that invisible voice inside that says, "They should respect me more. I need to prove I was right. I deserve better treatment. They don't see my value, and that hurts. I can't let them win." And so you react. You fight. You explain. You defend. Not because it's necessary, but because your ego is screaming for attention. But here's what you don't realize. Ego is not your strength. Ego is your prison. The ego wants to be seen, loved, admired, respected, and praised all the time. But when the world doesn't give you these things, and it won't, the ego panics. And when the ego panics, you react. You shout in the middle of an argument because your ego says, "They can't talk to me like that." You reply to hate comments because your ego says, "They don't know who I am." You explain your side in every fight because your ego says, "I must defend myself." But here's the truth nobody wants to hear. You don't need to defend what's already real. You don't need to prove what already exists, and you don't need to be loud to be right. The corporate betrayal. There was a man who spent 15 years building a company from nothing. He gave everything: his time, his health, his relationships. He trusted his business partners completely. Then, one day, without warning, his partners betrayed him. They stole his ideas, took his clients, and pushed him out of the company he had built. No apology, no gratitude, no explanation. His ego was on fire. How could they do this to me? Don't they know who I am? I gave them everything. He wanted to go public, to expose them, to destroy their reputation like they had destroyed his trust. But before doing anything, he remembered what his wise grandmother had once told him. "My child, you don't heal by proving others wrong. You heal by proving to yourself that their actions cannot control your future." Those words changed everything. He didn't fight. He didn't attack. He didn't even speak about what happened. He walked away in silence, with dignity, with his peace intact. 6 months later, he started his own company, quietly, consistently, without drama. 3 years later, he was more successful than the people who had betrayed him because he chose growth over revenge, peace over ego. Why ego makes you react? The ego is loud and demanding. It can't accept disrespect. It can't tolerate being ignored. It can't survive being wrong. And so every time someone challenges your worth, every time someone forgets your value, every time someone walks away without explanation, your ego explodes. But here's the danger. The ego wants revenge, but your soul wants freedom. If you keep choosing ego, you'll keep losing peace. You'll react to every comment. You'll argue with every fool. You'll destroy relationships just to win temporary battles. And when the battle ends, you'll be alone with your ego, without your peace. The solution: choose peace over ego. This is the most important lesson of all. You cannot master your emotions if you don't confront your ego. Here's how. Recognize the ego's voice. When you feel the urge to prove, fight, attack, or explain, pause and ask, is this my soul speaking or my ego screaming? Let people be wrong about you. Not everyone deserves access to your truth. Let them misunderstand you. Let them talk. You don't owe everyone a version of yourself that makes them comfortable. Stop fighting to be right. The need to be right is often the reason we stay stuck in the wrong energy. Ask yourself, what's more important, being right or being at peace? Choose silence when ego wants to scream. The next time someone disrespects you and you feel the fire rising, breathe, smile, and walk away. Not because you're weak, but because you're no longer controlled by something as fragile as ego. Remember, your worth is not a debate. You don't need to react to prove it. You don't need to speak to protect it. You just need to live it with calmness, with clarity, and with quiet confidence. When you let go of ego, something beautiful happens. You stop chasing validation. You stop reacting to noise. You stop proving your worth. And for the first time in your life, you feel light. You feel free. You feel unshakable. Because peace doesn't live in the loud. It lives in the still, in the calm, in the quiet heart that no longer needs to win every argument to know its worth. Conclusion: your silent revolution begins now. Now you know the truth. You don't need to react to everything. You don't need to fight every battle. You don't need to prove your worth to people who never saw it in the first place. You don't need to carry the noise, the drama, the pain just because the world throws it at you. You are more than your reactions. You are more than your anger. You are more than the storms that come and go. You are calm. You are deep. You are steady. And now you are free. From this moment forward, may you never lose your peace again. Not for anything. Not for anyone. May your silence become your strength. May your calmness become your confidence. May your wisdom become your way of life. And whenever the world tries to pull you into chaos, remember, pause, breathe, and remember who you are. You don't belong in the noise. You were born for something greater: peace, purpose, and quiet power. So stay still, stay true, keep rising silently, because sometimes the loudest thing you can ever say is nothing at all. Thank you for watching. I'm proud of you. And from my heart to yours, may you find the strength to choose response over reaction, peace over chaos, and silence over noise. Take care of your mind, Protect your soul. And never forget, you are not weak for staying calm. You are powerful beyond words. Until next time, stay strong, stay silent, stay free.